Water cannot flow uphill. That is basic physics. Yet for over 3,000 years, ancient Persian engineers moved billions of gallons of water upward through underground rivers stretching 3,000 miles. Scientists finally understand how they did it. And the answer is more ingenious than anyone imagined. Picture the Persian desert 3,000 years ago. No rivers. No lakes. Summer temperatures reaching 130 degrees. And yet, somehow, the Persian Empire built magnificent cities, grew vast agricultural lands, and supported millions of people in one of the driest places on Earth. How? The answer lies beneath your feet. But here is where it gets strange. When archaeologists first mapped these underground systems, they discovered something that seemed to violate the laws of physics. Water was flowing from low elevations toward higher ground. For decades, researchers assumed the ancient surveys were wrong. Then in 2015, a team of hydrologists made a discovery that changed everything. What they found explains not just how the Persians survived but how they built one of history's greatest civilizations. The system is called a Qanat. And understanding it requires you to forget everything you know about how ancient people moved water. While Romans built aqueducts on the surface, Persian engineers went underground. Way underground. They dug vertical shafts called mother wells, some plunging 400 feet straight down into the earth until they hit something remarkable. Hidden aquifers. Massive underground reservoirs of water trapped in porous rock, invisible from the surface but containing billions of gallons. If this is reshaping how you see ancient engineering, drop a like. But here is the part that baffled modern engineers. The Persians did not just tap these aquifers. They connected them with horizontal tunnels running for miles. And somehow, water flowed through these tunnels from lower aquifers to higher destinations. The math simply did not work. Unless you understood what the Persians knew about something called the water table gradient. Now imagine you are a Persian engineer 3,000 years ago. You have no satellites. No computers. No electricity. And you need to move water 30 miles from a mountain aquifer to a city in the valley. But here is the twist nobody expects. The city is actually at a higher elevation than where the tunnel begins. Impossible. This is where Persian genius reveals itself. They understood something modern engineers overlooked for decades. The water table is not flat. It follows the contour of the land above it, but at a different angle. So while the ground surface might rise toward the city, the underground water table could actually be sloping downward in the same direction. The Persians did not make water flow uphill at all. They built tunnels that followed the natural downward slope of the invisible underground water table. Water always flowed downhill. Just not the hill you could see. But understanding the principle was only half the battle. Actually building these systems required precision that would challenge modern contractors. And this is where the stakes become clear. One miscalculation meant death. Qanat tunnels are barely wide enough for a single person to crawl through. Workers called mechanis descended hundreds of feet into darkness, breathing air so thin that torches would extinguish. They dug through rock with bronze tools while breathing through wet cloths. And they had to maintain a precise slope of 1 in 1,000. That means for every 1,000 feet of tunnel, the floor could only drop by 1 foot. Too steep, and the water would erode the tunnel walls. Too flat, and sediment would clog the system. These workers achieved accuracy that rivals modern laser surveying. Using oil lamps and geometry passed down through generations. But here is what nobody tells you about this ancient technology. What I have described so far is just the beginning. The real engineering miracle is what happened above ground. Because a single Qanat was not enough. The Persians built networks of thousands of Qanats spanning 3,000 miles. More than the Great Wall of China. And these systems lasted not for decades but for millennia. Some Qanats built 2,500 years ago still function today. Still delivering water. Still using zero energy. No pumps. No electricity. Nothing. And this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Because what archaeologists discovered about who built these systems challenges everything we assume about ancient labor. If you want to see how this connects to a modern crisis, make sure you are subscribed. The workers were not slaves. They were highly paid specialists. And their knowledge was considered more valuable than gold. The Mechanis formed elite guilds. Their secrets passed from father to son through oral tradition. They could read the land like a book, identifying underground water sources by studying the types of plants growing on the surface, the behavior of insects, even the temperature of the soil at dawn. And their reputation spread far beyond Persia. When Rome conquered the Middle East, they did not destroy the Qanats. They hired the Mechanis. When Arabs swept through the region, they did the same. This technology spread across 40 countries and 4 continents. Morocco, Spain, Afghanistan, China. Even the American Southwest has ancient Qanat-style systems built by indigenous peoples who developed similar techniques independently. But something devastating happened in the 20th century. Drop your prediction in the comments. What nearly destroyed 3,000 years of accumulated knowledge? The answer reveals a tragedy and a modern awakening. Modern pumps happened. In the 1950s and 60s, diesel-powered wells seemed like miracles. Why maintain ancient tunnels when you could drill straight down and pump water up? Within a generation, 30,000 Qanats across Iran fell into disrepair. And with them, the knowledge. The Mekhani guilds shrank from thousands to hundreds. Their oral traditions began dying with the elders. But nature delivered a harsh lesson. The pumps drained aquifers faster than rain could replenish them. Water tables dropped by hundreds of feet. Cities that had thrived for millennia suddenly faced water crises. The same aquifers the Persians had sustainably tapped for 3,000 years were being depleted in mere decades. The Qanats had worked because they only took what the aquifer naturally produced. The pumps took everything. And here is the revelation that changes everything. Scientists now understand the Persian genius was not just engineering. It was sustainability. Qanats are what hydrologists call gravity flow systems. They only extract water that naturally flows to them. When rainfall decreases, Qanat output decreases automatically. The system self-regulates. Modern pumps have no such limits. They extract until the aquifer is empty. And this realization sparked a global revival. UNESCO designated Qanat technology as intangible cultural heritage of humanity in 2016. Iran launched programs to restore abandoned systems. Morocco, Algeria, and Afghanistan followed. Engineers from water-stressed regions worldwide now study Qanat principles. Not to recreate the tunnels exactly but to apply the underlying wisdom. Take only what replenishes. Work with gravity, not against it. The ancient Persians did not conquer the desert. They negotiated with it. And this brings us back to the question that started everything. How did ancient Persians move water uphill? They did not. They understood something about the invisible landscape beneath our feet that we forgot. The underground water world has its own geography, its own mountains and valleys, independent of what we see on the surface. The Persians mapped this invisible terrain with astonishing accuracy. They built infrastructure that worked with natural forces instead of fighting them. And they created systems so robust that some have delivered water continuously for 100 generations. No maintenance crews. No spare parts. No fuel deliveries. Just gravity and human ingenuity working in perfect harmony. Think about that for a moment. 25 centuries of continuous operation. So the next time someone tells you ancient peoples were primitive, remember the Mechanis. Remember workers who achieved laser-level precision with oil lamps and string. Remember engineers who mapped invisible underground rivers stretching 3,000 miles. Remember a technology so sophisticated that modern science is still learning from it. The Persian Qanat system is not a relic. It is a blueprint. A 3,000-year-old answer to a crisis we are only beginning to face. Water scarcity affects 4 billion people today. And buried beneath the deserts of the ancient world lies proven wisdom that we abandoned in our rush toward modernity. Perhaps it is time to dig it up again. Not just the tunnels. The thinking. That is how they really did it. Subscribe for more mysteries decoded. What ancient